Okay, I'm Watson Dorn with Hickory Hill Milk, and I'd like to answer a few of the questions that typically our customers pose to us. One of the questions that we typically get is, why is Hickory Hill Milk not organic? All of our milk is natural produced, and it's all natural product. The organic conversation started many years ago, and we want to treat our cows as humanely as possible. If you're truly organic and you adhere to all the laws to make you organic, that means that you don't ever treat cows with antibiotics. We were fortunate with our children not to have to deal with ear infections. But had we had children with ear infections, I would like to give my child an antibiotic to cure any infection. Cows are similar to humans in the fact that they get infections just like humans do. I like to be able to treat my cows humanely, treat them with antibiotics to cure any kind of infection they might have. But that cow gets segregated from the herd when she's treated. In other words, her milk gets dumped down the drain until it's tested negative for any antibiotic residue. So there's no antibiotic residue in our milk, but actually there's no antibiotic residue in any milk because federal law prohibits any antibiotic residue. So we will always be all natural. We will never be organic. And I think it's just a very healthy, all natural product. Is our treatment of cows more humane? I think so, because our cows go out on grass 365 days a year, so they're not stressed. If they get any kind of sicknesses or infections, they are treated promptly with the right procedures. So we want our cows happy, healthy, and productive, and well taken care of. It's our responsibility, and we're fortunate to be able to do that. One of the other questions we get is, why is our milk low temperature pasteurized, and is it better? A lot of people get pasteurization and homogenization confused. These are two totally separate processes. Our milk is low temperature pasteurized, which means we heat the milk up to 145 degrees and we hold it at 145 degrees for at least 30 minutes. That kills all the harmful bacteria in milk. But the helpful bacteria, the beneficial bacteria that naturally occurs in milk, is still there. We've all seen the commercials about Activia and the good digestive probiotics that it adds to your system. That naturally occurs in milk. But when you heat it up to higher temperatures, above 145 degrees, that kills the beneficial bacteria as well as the harmful bacteria. Most of the milk in the United States is high temperature pasteurized. That means they go up to 175 degrees for 15 seconds. It passes through a tube for 15 seconds at 175 degrees. That's fine for big major milk plants because time is money. We're a small family farm, and we're willing to wait that additional time to preserve the beneficial bacteria. So we do not high temperature pasteurize. A lot of your organic milks, especially the ones in the cardboard containers, are ultra high temp pasteurized. In other words, they go up to 200 degrees for 2 seconds. That gives it a very long shelf life because there's nothing beneficial in it left to grow. No bacteria at all. It's basically sterilized. I always tell customers, if you set an apple on your kitchen table and you come back in 6 weeks and it hasn't gotten rotten, that should throw up a red flag. There's nothing, there's no bacteria at all in that apple to grow. Things are supposed to go bad. They have a shelf life. Why does Hickory Hill Milk not make the low-fat milk? In addition to low temperature pasteurization, our milk is not homogenized. There's no scientific reason to homogenize milk. The United States started doing it many, many years ago, if I'm not mistaken, in the 30s and 40s. for the simple reason you do not have to shake it up. Now you'll see on the top of every one of our containers, shake well. The cream rises to the top in our milk just like it's supposed to. We refer to it as old-fashioned creamline milk. When you homogenize milk, you're breaking down the fat molecule and the sugar molecule so small till it never joins back again, hence homogenization. And the cream doesn't rise to the top. God created milk in its perfect state. The fat molecule and the sugar molecule that naturally occur in cow's milk is too large for your body to readily absorb. But when you homogenize it, you break it down so small that your body easily absorbs the fats and the sugars. I've had so many people ask me why our milk, being non-homogenized, does not bother them when they're extremely lactose intolerant. You're not born lactose intolerant. You may be genetically predisposed to it, but you become that way over a period of time because you've been drinking milk that has been homogenized. In the 9 years that we've been producing Hickory Hill milk, we've never had one single customer that could not drink our milk that was lactose intolerant. And that's a blessing for me as well as the customers because we feel like we're helping people. I've had so many customers come to me and say, hey, I can drink milk for the first time in 40 years. And, you know, that's pretty neat to be able to help somebody like that. How do you keep cows healthy is another question we get if we don't give antibiotics. We do treat these cows with antibiotics, but that cow is segregated from the herd. We do not feed any antibiotics. We are as all natural as we can possibly get. We do not feed any antibiotics. We do not use any hormones. We don't inject our cows with hormones. It's an all-natural product. Our cows are grass-fed. But, you know, if a cow gets sick, she is treated accordingly. Is our milking process sanitary? That's another question that we always get. We have the health department inspectors that come in routinely to our dairy farm as well as our milk plant, and they do inspections. We have to keep very stringent records as far as the procedures that we use to ensure that the milk is handled properly and that it's a good, safe product. One of the guys that really encouraged us to get into the bottling business was actually our health inspector. He said we always are at the top of the dairy farmers in the state when it comes to quality. And they said we really need to be something directed to the consumer. We've won all kind of awards for the quality of our product straight off the farm before we ever started bottling it, and then low-temp pasteurizing it and putting it in a jug that says Hickory Hill milk. Another question that we typically get about our products is the shelf life. Hickory Hill milk only comes from our cows and our farms, so it's not co-mingled with other farms. Unfortunately, some farms do a better job taking care of the cows and do a better job with the cleanliness and the standard operating procedures at the farm. So the guy with the worst quality milk gets dumped in there in the same tanker with the best quality milk. So the milk only comes from our farm, so that gives us a better shelf life. On our whole milk, we date it for 22 days, whereas typically store brand or some of the other brands of milk in the supermarket today are 12 to 14 day shelf life. Our whole milk is 22 days. Our chocolate milk is 18 days because obviously you're adding an all-natural sugar to that product. And anytime you add sugar to anything, it increases the bacterial load and it spoils quicker. But 18 days on chocolate milk is compared to 10 to 12 on regular chocolate milk in the supermarket. If you're interested in buying Hickory Hill milk, you can go to our website and you can download something to carry to your supermarket manager. Don't give it to the dairy case guy, don't give it to the cashier. Ask for the manager and give him that sheet, and he can contact us directly to get Hickory Hill milk in your location. We're blessed to be able to have distributors on board with us that can achieve that. So we would appreciate you going to our website, hickoryhillmilk.com, and download that attachment and carry it to your local store. Another question we get is about our chocolate milk. Everybody seems to really love the taste of our chocolate milk. And we were fortunate when we selected the ingredients and the taste profile on it. We had the vision of having it taste like a melted Wendy's frosting, because everybody loves Wendy's frostings. And I think we get pretty close to it. Our chocolate milk is as all natural as it can get as well. We use pure cane sugar. We use chocolate powder from a chocolate supplier, and we also use natural vanilla. So we don't use any chocolate syrup, any additives, any preservatives, anything like that in our chocolate milk. So it's a great treat. Our chocolate milk is also based off the whole milk. A lot of times it comes off the same batch. When our cows, when we finish milking that in dairy, the milk is transported a quarter of a mile away to our little small bottling plant. And within 3 hours it's in a jug, and by that day or the next day it's on the store shelf. So it's a fresh, wholesome product. It's fresh of milk as you can possibly get. We always invite customers to come see the way our cows are managed, the way we try to keep everything natural.